On the morning of March 20, 1995, during Tokyo's rush hour, members of the Doomsday cult Aum Shinrikyo released the deadly nerve agent sarin on 5 subway trains. What began as an ordinary commute for thousands of salarymen, students, and office workers turned into a scene of unimaginable horror. The attack killed 13 people, injured or sickened over 6,000, and shocked the world, marking the first large-scale use of chemical weapons by a non-state actor in a major city. This was no random act of violence. It was the culmination of a cult's apocalyptic vision and years of unchecked ambition. In the 1980s, Japan stood at the height of its economic miracle, yet beneath the surface of prosperity, a growing number of young and highly educated people experienced profound spiritual emptiness. Into this void stepped Chizuo Matsumoto, who would later call himself Shoko Asahara. Born in 1955 in Kumamoto Prefecture with severe visual impairment, he struggled through a difficult childhood, failed university entrance examinations, and later pursued acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. He operated a small herbal business before embarking on a spiritual journey that took him to India in the early 1980s. There, he claimed to have attained ultimate enlightenment after intense meditation and ascetic practices. Returning to Japan full of conviction, Asahara began attracting disciples through yoga classes and lectures on spiritual liberation. In 1987, he formally established Aum Shinrikyo, a complex belief system that fused Tibetan Buddhism, Hinduism, apocalyptic elements of Christianity, and his own interpretations of prophecy. He declared himself both the reincarnation of Christ and the next Buddha, capable of granting supernatural powers to devoted followers. The movement's headquarters first operated in Tokyo, before expanding into a vast commune in Yamanashi Prefecture. The group drew thousands of bright, idealistic recruits, graduates from Tokyo University, Kyoto University, medical doctors, molecular biologists, and engineers. Many members liquidated their assets, severed family ties, and surrendered their entire savings to the organization, believing they were contributing to a higher spiritual cause. At its peak, Aum Shinrikyo boasted more than 10,000 followers in Japan and maintained branches in several countries, constructing a secretive, self-contained empire equipped with advanced laboratories, production facilities, and its own security force. The transformation from a meditation group to a militarized organization happened gradually but relentlessly. Asahara increasingly spoke of an impending global apocalypse, teaching that only his faithful followers would survive the final war. He instructed top disciples to develop weapons of mass destruction as preparation for the end times. The cult constructed hidden chemical and biological production sites where highly educated scientists conducted experiments. They attempted to weaponize botulinum toxin and anthrax spores, while simultaneously perfecting the production of sarin nerve gas through complex chemical processes. Beyond chemical weapons, Aum invested heavily in conventional armaments. Members manufactured copies of AK-47 rifles, developed explosive devices, and even pursued ambitious projects such as building a functional helicopter and experimental laser weapons. Funding came through a mix of legitimate businesses, aggressive donation drives, fraud, and outright extortion. Those who tried to leave the group faced severe consequences. Many were abducted, subjected to brutal re-education, or murdered. By the early 1990s, Aum Shinrikyo had evolved into a sophisticated criminal organization cloaked in religious legitimacy. Functioning with minimal interference from Japanese authorities due to strong legal protections afforded to religious groups at the time. Clear danger signals emerged years before the Tokyo attack. In June 1994, Aum conducted a test release of sarin in Matsumoto City, resulting in 8 deaths and over 600 injuries. Although investigators found strong circumstantial evidence linking the cult to the incident, the case moved slowly because of the group's religious status and sophisticated legal defenses. Several former members had come forward with alarming testimony about chemical weapons development, assassination plots against critics, and Asahara's growing paranoia. Life inside the cult had become increasingly authoritarian and terrifying. New initiates endured extreme rituals involving psychoactive drugs, prolonged sensory deprivation, and physical beatings. Scientists working on sarin production faced immense pressure and constant fear of failure, leading to multiple laboratory accidents that poisoned their own colleagues. In the days leading up to March 20, 1995, Japanese police were preparing a large-scale raid on the cult's main compound. Sensing the imminent threat, Asahara issued orders for a preemptive strike on the Tokyo subway system, hoping the resulting chaos would distract and overwhelm law enforcement. Shortly after 8 o'clock, 5 coordinated teams executed the plan across 3 major subway lines: Hibiya, Chiyoda, and Marinauchi, all destined to pass through the government center at Kasumigaeki Station. Each team carried plastic bags filled with liquid sarin, carefully wrapped in newspapers. Using the sharpened points of umbrellas, the attackers pierced the bags and placed them on the train floors before exiting at the next station. The highly toxic nerve agent evaporated rapidly in the warm, crowded carriages. Passengers initially experienced stinging sensations in their eyes and blurred vision. Soon afterward, many suffered chest tightness, uncontrollable vomiting, convulsions, and loss of bodily control. Some collapsed unconscious on the floors, while others desperately tried to escape the trains. Because the affected trains continued running, the poison spread efficiently to multiple key stations. At Kasumigaeki Station, platforms descended into pandemonium as hundreds of commuters stumbled out, many unable to see clearly, gasping for air, and collapsing in large numbers. Subway employees heroically removed the leaking packages with their bare hands, unaware they were dealing with a chemical weapon, which led to several staff members becoming victims themselves. Emergency services across central Tokyo faced an unprecedented crisis. Hospitals received a sudden flood of patients displaying identical mysterious symptoms. Medical staff worked under extreme pressure until specialists finally identified the substance as sarin. The attack claimed 13 lives, including 2 subway employees who had rushed to assist passengers. More than 6,000 individuals required medical treatment, with many suffering lasting effects such as neurological damage, chronic vision problems, and severe psychological trauma. First responders operated under chaotic conditions with minimal protective gear. Firefighters and police officers entered contaminated stations wearing standard uniforms, resulting in many of them requiring treatment after exposure. The Japanese self-defense forces were later mobilized to handle decontamination and provide specialized medical support. The police investigation became one of the most extensive in modern Japanese history. Raids across the country uncovered massive chemical stockpiles, production equipment, weapons caches, and documents detailing other criminal activities. Shoko Asahara was captured 2 months later in a hidden compartment within the cult's headquarters. The legal proceedings that followed were lengthy and complex, lasting more than 2 decades. In July 2018, Asahara and 12 senior members were executed by hanging. The incident exposed critical weaknesses in Japan's counter-terrorism measures and oversight of religious organizations. In response, the government introduced stricter monitoring of religious groups, enhanced chemical weapon detection capabilities, and significantly improved emergency protocols and ventilation systems throughout the Tokyo subway network. The victims were ordinary people whose only mistake was boarding a train on an ordinary morning. Their families still carry deep sorrow and unanswered questions more than 30 years later. Many survivors continue to battle chronic health complications and emotional scars that never fully healed. The Aum Shinrikyo attack demonstrated how a charismatic but delusional leader could recruit brilliant minds and transform them into instruments of mass destruction. It forced Japan and the international community to rethink the balance between religious freedom and public safety. The tragedy remains a powerful reminder that dangerous ideologies, when combined with scientific knowledge and unchecked authority, can produce catastrophic results. Vigilance, responsible oversight, and societal awareness remain the strongest defenses against similar threats in the future.